justice and the role that we as the media can do, or you and I can do, therefore, and the storytelling, so that we can make our government stand up for the guys who are getting affected by the climate change and the effects of drought. By the way, Ankey, if you look at those pictures from the northern part of Kenya, really saddening. 4 million people, that's a lot. And then if you look at over 4.3, isn't it? And then we look at the pictures that we're getting from the cows that can't even move to look for greener pastures. Even if they go, Ankey, there's nowhere to go, because the northern part of Kenya for 3 years running now has received little to no rainfall.
And really, Simba, even as we're speaking, someone would ask, a political analyst would ask, was it the right move to begin as, Ruto's regime took over to do away with the subsidies? We do know that economically it does make sense, but with the over 10 counties we're talking about, it could make, cause more harm than it is helping. Sometimes, perhaps, it's good to look at the country in a more wider perspective and regionally before actually, imposing some of these things or taking some sort of action. But let's get to hear really from those watching from back at home. How is the situation like in your respective counties? Are you living in either of these counties? Talk to us. We are live on Facebook at Look Up TV. Remember to use the hashtag The Morning Drift. But there's still more to come, especially on Look Up Business. Simba, what is it like in the world of business? I know there's just much more to come, 11 to 12 p.m. today.
Yeah, a lot of conversations. Sport Festival was supposed to be in the country under milestones, but then again, the court has frozen their license because there is investor fights again in that particular brand. Also, we're going to tell you what it means by the 93 million shillings that was found in government accounts last week. So the question is going to be, are we broke?
Yes.
But as you're going to realize, we're not broke.
I'm looking forward to that, because for a second thought there, you'd ask, really, is the government broke? Looking forward to that. But of course, 10 to 11 a.m. being a Wednesday, we bring you all the beauty, glamour, understanding, grooming, and what exactly you need to understand about the modeling industry, the dark sides of the modeling agencies. But ultimately, we also celebrate modeling with purpose. A lot of pageants now have come up. I know you're familiar with Miss World, Miss Tourism, among others. But now we're looking at Miss Wheelchair coming in today, and also we are also going to be having Miss Humanity 2022. It's very exciting. I can't wait to have these amazing women in studio. Send in your questions and let us understand what more you can do besides just looking pretty or being on the runway. We take a short breather. The Morning Drift begins right here, right now. Welcome back. This is the heart of it, and because everybody else wants to understand what's making headlines on the dailies this morning, the 21st of September, the year 2022, and like it being a Wednesday, it's quite busy on the headlines politically. And what I have on the Daily Nation, even before we take a look at what Simba is holding, which is the Standard, front page is all about politics. I thought we moved on from this, Simba. However, we still have analysis on how Raila lost on the front page of the Daily Nation. Just to read a bit more detail into that, it says, basking in the false promise of victory, betrayed by the lieutenant in his traditional bastions, suffering the curse of false incumbency, labeled to a state, rather labeled a state project by William Ruto, and running a disorganized agent system, Raila Amolo Odinga was flying blind on the August 9th with devastating consequences. Well, that is quite a highlight there. You want to read more on that on page 4, 5, and 6, and someone would ask themselves, why are we still digging deeper into the loss of Raila Odinga? However, Simba, we do also understand that previously or recently, there has been a lot of blame game going on within the Azimio coalition, talking about there was too much power centralized in one position. There was, a number of agents here and there being changed at the last time. So we're seeing people talking about this particular, leader was either designed to fail. You're talking about anatomy of a false start. Just to read, of course, a little bit more, we're seeing 48.85% percentage of total valid votes cast in Odinga's favor, according to the elections agency. However, Simba, almost doesn't count. And really, Uhuru and Karua were to deliver the Mount Kenya vote, but did not show up enough numbers to upset the Ruto plan in the region. We're seeing change agents, which I have mentioned. At number 3, the curse of incumbency they're talking about. Raila also lost his traditional base by running as an establishment candidate, while Ruto cast himself as the change champion. We're seeing supremacy battles even right now. His campaign team created 2 power structures, according to this daily, a secretariat and a board that ended up fighting each other for clout rather than aiding the campaign. This is the heart of this daily. Political analysts are still continuing, I would say, adding salt to the wound. But I don't know what you have, Simba, before I go back to the queries over the 55 billion shillings spent in the last days of Uhuru Kenyatta. That is a Daily Nation's front page.
All right. The Standard is headlining what the Central Bank of Kenya Governor Dr. Patrick Njoroge told the members of Parliament at their induction meeting. By the way, we are also going to headline this on Look at Business today. So pretty much summarizing what the CBK governor did say. In fact, it was trending yesterday with people saying, well, he spoke like a man who had been cut loose, that he had the freedom them to come in and say exactly what was going on. This is what they're headlining like. Central Bank of Kenya governor told members of parliament that a golden bag-like scheme was hatched by some rogue banks during the heated political season that led to the shilling's slump to historic lows, though he was hesitant to name the culprits. Now, the governor laid bare the difficulties the new government faces in managing the economy going forward. And if you want to read into that story, then it is on pages 11, 19, and 22. Let me just get you this quote from him. He said, I want to assure you that we have adequate foreign exchange. What was happening in the past 2 to 3 months, we had people who were trying to bring us back to golden bag. Interesting read right there. You're going to have to look into it as well. Also, the Standard on page 7, read about the 3.6 billion cheap fertilizer, by the way, that was made available yesterday. Also, the IG has been sued over corruption on highways. That's also very, very interesting read on pages 20, with Kenyans saying, well, the level of corruption from our police officers is really shocking. And then read on page 39 whether Nick Mwendwa, the FKF president, indeed is back. All right, that's exactly what the Standard has for you.
I picked some similarity from the Standard. There's something I'm seeing on the Daily Nation as far as the maize is concerned and the flour and the subsidy. And on pages, of course, the back page really quite interesting. On the back page, you get to read that subsidized fertilizer capped at 100 bags per farmer. The Ruto government will spend about 3.5 billion shillings to subsidize the cost of 1.4 million 50-kilogram bags of fertilizer. But farmers, Simba, will only be allowed to buy a maximum of 100 bags. I know you want to read more of that and, of course, understand how the agricultural sector, which is very vital to this country's economy and food security, is concerned. Also, I promised to touch on the queries over the 55 billion spent in the last days of Uhuru. Quite something there, his last days, so you might want to assess that. And they're asking, where did the money go? Members of Parliament are raising questions regarding the colossal amount of money allocated to various government ministries and agencies days to the end of Uhuru's term, at a time when the country faced a huge foreign debt and food fuel subsidy crisis. Pages 2 and 3 are covering that. And of course, it's quite something, Simba, to check on. We don't want to really go back into what I had touched on, but of course it is on pages 4 and 5. And still, doubt over maize flour subsidy cost delays payment for millers. And you'd ask yourself, how long will the roller coaster stay? And even as that continues, Simba, they say, Fahari wakipigana, Nyasi ndio umia. And I know surely it is that family watching this morning that's probably going through something. We'd love to hear from them live in our comment section on Facebook. We really want to share your feedback with the rest of the viewers. I perhaps and suppose, you know, that they are going to be sending their feedback this morning.
Zed, all right, now you want to do that at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba Ankey.
And I am at Dorice Ankey. Let's go into what's trending shortly on social media. All right, this is what's trending right about now. And when you look at Twitter, like I always say, it's never a dull moment on Twitter. It's never a dull moment on social media. And Simba, what I have observed in the few years I have been alive is that Kenyans are very lively humans, also very updated as far as information is concerned. But you also have to be very careful and fact-checked. You know, check what exactly is being tweeted before you retweet. We're going to be concentrating on Twitter, is it, Simba?
Zed. All right, I just want us to begin with one of the conversations that Kenyans are having online, by the way. If you're a football fan or if you're a sports fan, then in one way or another, you might have been betting. Now, this is exactly what was going on with the previous regime. We're talking about immediate former President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. We saw him rein in on a betting companies across the country. And that's when we had the brand SportPesa getting pushed out of Kenya. And then they've been coming back, and they did announce a couple of months back that they're officially in the country then. And Milestone Games, yes, Limited, was the one that was running the brand SportPesa. So you would have a couple of companies under Milestone Games Limited that are running this particular company, SportPesa. Now, yesterday, something happened at the High Court because that license by SportPesa, again, was put on hold. Guess what was going on? Investor wrangles within SportPesa. And even before they were kicked out of the country, there was a lot of investor wrangles within that particular brand. Now, for those who are hoping then to start betting under the name SportPesa, you gotta wait a little longer then for you to actually get back on it, because as far as the courts are concerned, that is a matter that has not been settled. Now, there was one investor who went to court, by the way, and filed a petition and said, until my 21%, there's that particular company that's called Pevans Limited, beg your pardon, that is in question. She wants it to be clear that once then SportPesa comes back and start running, and exactly how then they would understand the involvement of Pevans Limited in SportPesa. So as far as we are concerned, bado bana watu wa kubet, bado SportPesa haijakuwa granted the green light then to continue conducting business in the country. So bado. All right, let's see exactly what Kenyans are talking about this online, Ankey Shandwe.
All right, we've seen quite a number of those, including what the Supreme Court has done. Pretty much one of our top tweets as far as that is concerned. I think we'll go with that for now. Still, as far as SportPesa is concerned, we continue to check out. Continue to also send in your thoughts at Look Up TV, at Dorice Ankey, and we'll continue to pick that trend. Now, Simba, I'm also here scratching my head saying I'm glad there's always an age limit to that. You know, what people will say, quote unquote, is not far from gambling, really. I know it's betting. It's betting, but the age limit is very important. Actually,
it's gambling.
It is gambling.
Betting and gambling, that you could actually just interchange those two. While betting is a more professional term, but then the term is gambling. I'm a gambler. As that when you bet, you call yourself a gambler. And the good thing with the licensing board, I mean, when you look at that particular industry, they've really made it straight. By the way, the taxes are heavy. Now you're even taxed. You're taxed on the bet. you're taxed on the placement, and you're taxed on the winnings.
And I'm glad there's no way a teenager is going to deal with all those taxes, and there is no way you're going to sustain yourself if you have been, you know, spending all your money. And because there are times it was detrimental even to the economy, you know. So it's very, very important that we also have that the courts are involved in things like this. So we keep following up on those developments. But FIFA is also trending. I don't think there's a way we'd rush from sport press and not jump into FIFA. FIFA is also trending. And a lot of people speaking on FIFA, I'm telling you, there are certain languages on Twitter. I have told you, Twitter is worldwide, it's global. And what is happening around FIFA has all languages tweeting today. So football really does make the world one, you know, one village. Really unites the world. And I'm seeing here, for some reason, I'm just going to pick random tweets. Wickerman73, 23 seconds ago. So FIFA is currently trending, really, 23 seconds ago, saying they've improved FIFA 23 career mode. I like it. I'm getting it day one. However, they will be a 10-hour trial on 27th. So try that made before making up your mind. I'm actually beginning to think they're also celebrating the PlayStations.
It's the game.
Yeah, it's the game.
Yo, maybe James, if you're listening, you could tell us whether anything I support football actually do have that game. Is it FIFA 23 that is out already?
It is FIFA 23.
No, is it? It's not FIFA 23 yet. James, are you listening, bro? I mean, you could help us.
It is out. I am not. Simba, you doubt me because of what reason?
Oh, it's coming September.
Today is September.
It's trending.
It's coming out.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the last time I checked, I was wait, before this we didn't have, was it FIFA 16 or 15?
It's
22.
22. Simba, how can we jump from 16?
Whoa.
It's every year. There is no way we're going to jump from 16 to 23. Just like the phones.
Last one I played, Van Persie was still playing for us.
Okay, I knew you were going to bring in the Arsenal idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying that FIFA is not my thing. Here's the thing, I love football, but then it's essentially not my thing. Like I'm
actually glad you said that, because someone here had tweeted earlier on, if I am able to get that tweet, I would share it. Yeah. And they were asking, would you rather enjoy real football or FIFA 23?
But
and that's actually what you're saying.
Yeah, I do know though, the guys who can't live without FIFA. And that's the thing, yeah. But I'll tell you an example. My young brother has these friends who normally come to my house, Ankey, and they will sit for 2 days. And I'm not exaggerating it. They will sit for 2 days, Ankey. Like morning to evening, sleep for maybe 3 hours, and then wake up the next morning and continue to play FIFA. They're guys who can't live without FIFA.
Parental concern.
They're competitions, by the way. They're leagues for FIFA.
Okay, that's fine. You talked about your younger brother. I don't know how old they are, but parental concerns are kicking in as far as FIFA 23 is trending.
Here's the thing, though. It's all only played by kids.
No,
guys who are
40,
addictive. 60, 50 are playing it, yeah.
But it is addictive. That's my point. Just like the sports pass betting can be addictive. Yeah, so it's FIFA 23 or FIFA as a whole. So and I know for sure, I'm not going to mention names, but like you mentioned, 50-year-olds, etc., could be spending all their money on. Do you think they should tax that?
No, but the game is quite expensive. We see what guys are talking about. But I don't know whether I should say this. Is it politically correct for me to say what I'm about to say next?
I'm not in your thoughts, Simba. I don't know how to protect you.
The fact that I'm doubting it will mean that it's not politically correct.
So then don't say it. All right.
Here's the thing. FIFA 23 could cost you upwards of 257,000. Yeah. To own the console. And how much?
All right. So what we're going to do, Simba?
James, how much is it?
All right.
50? No,
okay,
come
so
on.
What we're going to do, Simba, is we're going to actually wait on these guys to give us the comments in the comment section today.
15 G's, no.
I think it's good that I look at Facebook, right? And see the comment section.
Wait, is it there?
Yes.
Oh, it's the career mode.
All right.
I get it now.
Okay,
I get it.
Simba.
Oh, wow.
Simba, you get excited over football.
I'm not so informed about FIFA. It's the career mode. That is the thing. Okay, James.
All right.
Can we call James here to come explain to us?
No, I feel like we should move past this now that they know that FIFA 23 is coming out. Today's 21st of it. So it's going to be quite interesting, especially for those who will either be streaming it on Friday 30th with 12K FIFA points to be there. ETC, there's so much going on, especially this morning on FIFA. So all footballers or football fans or those who actually like to get PlayStations for their children, please check it out. But of course, other things are trending this morning as well. And Simba, you might want to guide us on what you think we should pick, because I have lots of things, including Raila, and we know why everyone now discussing his loss again.
That's it, yeah.
I would ask, why don't you let the old man be?
But we got to talk about it. I mean, as far as we're concerned, is the leader of opposition, isn't it?
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he willing to sit in that house? Has he spoken?
Yeah. What I don't like is what is coming out now is the disorganization that was within the Azimio coalition, as far as the elections were concerned. Because Ankey, you gave us that particular, the Daily Nation looked into, was it a 5-point agenda? Four-point agenda.
A number of details within that same thing. Yes.
And then there was changing of agents.
Yes.
Just a couple of hours to the election.
Exactly.
Okay. So what was going on? Why would you change these agents? What did you learn that the party leader did not know?
Exactly.
You know? And then I was reading this, I would call it submission by Boniface Mwangi. Him saying that, well, the way they were treated in the coalition, that if you would point out something, then you will be deemed as one who's not supporting the movement.
Yeah, and I think in that same light, one of those, who are also in Azimio, if not Boniface, just to be sure, talked about centralized power. Power was actually on one person, and that was a bit difficult then to have teamwork. So quite a moment there for Azimio. They're saying some in the Odinga camp believe agents of state aided theft. Can you believe that? Aided theft, and I'm even looking at the vocabulary being used here, even after the Supreme Court validated this particular election results. They're saying the theft of votes in Ruto's favor. And when we get to read this analysis, the word theft still come here, aiding theft. This went through the Supreme Court. There was no evidence. It was cleared. We have a president. The government is running. Why is it a headline? My concern. We need to be moving to when is the cabinet being named? How is the president doing in the State House diary? But I think that's more in the drought, really. Drought, we need to be discussing about drought. So anyway, if you still love politics much, you want to dig into how the game and power play is going, even as we wait for who is most superior in terms of numbers. That's pretty much it today on The Dailies. Can't wait to see what's in the newsroom, Simba.
That's it. Once we come back.
Hi there, my name is George Washuri. I am so happy to see you, and today I am here to enumerate, to explain how we package our land investment. We have 5 levels of our property, and we classify these levels as 1 star, 2 stars, 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star. This is what we mean, that if you buy a property that is 1 star with Optiven, one of the things that is evident, the property is cheaper, is below $500,000. And this particular property is basically bare land. We only do subdivision, put the beacons, and then produce titles. The second level, we call it 2 star. This is prime land, whereby we grade the roads, we put a marking fence, do the beacons, and produce titles. The third level, we call it 3 stars. This 3 star is value added plots. We do the malam, we do the water, we do the mesh fence, and there's a caretaker on site. The fourth level is foster. Foster is ready to build development. We do very nice maram roads. We plant the trees. We put the water tower. We also put a caretaker on site. And finally, the 5-star. The 5-star is premier. It's the top level. And this one, we do cable roads. We do water management through underground culverts. We do underground power. We do fountain for water. We do beautiful and nice permanent gates. We do perimeter wall and also do install the CCTV, and the whole property is manned by uniformed security. Some of these properties, these 5-star properties, we do a clubhouse and also construct swimming pool. Thank you once more for trusting Optiven. We value you. We are at Absa Plaza, 14th floor and 15th floor. God bless you.
What's the first thing you do when you get out of bed in the morning?
Does it ever get boring being a Christian? How do women do it?
Personally, I just think the first thing, this is ideal for me, is actually give God the first couple of hours or minutes of your day.
That freedom to not just be anywhere and do anything anyhow, but you know, sometimes you even want to have a girls' night out, hang out, you know.
You take permission.
You take permission.
Yeah.
This is an ordinary day in Hilary's life.
I was called by someone who represented himself to me as a husband to her. And the guy told me that she has died on 18th April.
Well, welcome back. You are still watching The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Kiage. Let's cross over to the newsroom and see some of the headlines that you're starting your day with. Now, tension is high in Samburu County after armed bandits made their way with at least 600 cows, leaving one person dead and a police officer nursing serious injuries, with area leaders calling on the government to ensure security is heightened in the region. Ian Kitani files the following report.
The residents of Kom village in Samburu County are up in arms after armed bandits made their way with at least 600 cows, leaving one of them dead and an officer injured during the attack. The herders are urging the government to intervene and ensure their livestock are returned as the bandits made their way towards Isiolo County.
Serikali yako na nguvu ya kurudishia community mali yao. Sheria ya serikali nalinda watu na mali zao. Na kama ameshindwa, akupali ameshindwa, apatie watu nafasi ya kupikana. Kwa sababu mtu kuibwa mali yake na serikali hapana rudishia yeye. Hiyo mtu takula nini na hana kitu kingine ya kukula?
Hao jamaa wametuweza nguvu. Sasa tukarudi. Ng'ombe zetu asimeenda na tumerudi na tumebaki bila ng'ombe. Kwa hivyo saa hii tumekuwa ile maskini ile ya kutosha. Kwa sababu saa hii kama una ng'ombe yako ambaye unaweza uza, ambaye unaweza lipa hata school fees ya mtoto yako, na hakuna kazi nyingine ambayo unategemea, tayari sasa tumekuwa maskini.
The herders called on President William Samoei Ruto to ensure he fulfills his campaign promise, ensuring that peace prevails in the region, as cattle rearing is their only form of livelihood, most of them using their livestock to pay school fees for their children.
Tuko sahi hata na rais India ile ambaye tumechagua juzi, Na hata yeye kwa mdomo yake alisema nitadumisha amani. Tunataka tuone hiyo promise ambayo hiyo watu wametupromise.
Samburu Governor Lati Lelelit has urged area residents to maintain peace, maintaining that the security apparatus in the country, led by the Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai and the County Commissioner, must ensure the cows are returned back to the owners, as he knows where exactly the cows were driven to, while Senator Steve Lelegwe indicated that the primary role of the government is to protect its citizens and more so cattle herders in the region. Thus, the need to ensure cattle raiding is done away with, urging the officers in the security sector to ensure residents are well protected, as most of them lose their lives during such attacks.
Muko na serikali huko, muko na machief, muko na AP. Kutoka kesho tafadhali mutoe hiyo ng'ombe kutoka hiyo tauni mbili. Kwa sababu ukiona pa nyuma sisi tumesuia wenye hiyo ng'ombe kwenda kulipisha kisasi. Tumeambia hawezi enda kwa sababu sisi ni watu tunapenda amani. Lakini wataweza kasirika kama ng'ombe wao itatolewa na tunajua ile tauni mbili. So chief ya Saleti, chief ya Matarba, commissioner ya Isiolo County, IG ya polisi, nimewaambia hiyo ng'ombe iko Saleti na iko Matarba.
DIG tumemwandikia message na hatujapata jawabu, na hakuna serikali tumeona leo. Kuna pia askari ambayo aliumizwa, na pia serikali hawao kuweza kuja kuona ama kupatia hawa nguvu wale ambao walikuwa wanafuata mfugo. Na tunaambia watu wetu wakae kwa amani, wasilipishe kisasi. Lakini tunaambia serikali, sisi tukidumisha amani, hawa pia wafuate mifugo ambayo imeenda. Kwa sababu watu ambao wako hapa ni wale ambao wanategemea hiyo mfugo.
Ankey Tani, Look Up TV.
Speaker of the National Senate, Simba Kiage, has implored the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, to look into improving parks for senators as the commission meets on a Wednesday to deliberate on the scrapped sitting allowances for the lawmakers. Kiage urges that the oversight work of the Senate Assembly requires intensive monitoring on how to allocate budgets or appropriate at county level. Hence the need for senators to be facilitated to fully carry out this constitutional mandate. Our reporter Henry Tende on this front.
As induction for the lawmakers continues, the thorny issue of sitting allowances in the National and Senate Assemblies has once again come to the fore. Voices of discontent from members of both assemblies who are not comfortable with the decision of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to scrap off major allowances for the 13th Assembly sounding loudly.
Some savings so that we catch up with the lost time.
The lawmakers want the SRC Commission to review their decision.
Good morning. My name is Soipan Tuya.
On Wednesday, during the Senate induction in Naivasha, Speaker of the Senate Simba Kiage delved into the debate, insisting SRC should, as a matter of urgency, improve their parks to facilitate them carry out their constitutional mandate. Governments.
For the 10 years, if Senator Mazayo has to, traverse the county of Kilifi to see what I'm doing as a governor, I had to fuel his vehicle to do to basically oversee what the county government is doing. I think you're talking about is not really an allowance. It is a facilitation that will enable the senators to actualize their constitutional mandate. It is not something new that they're demanding. It is not an additional amount of money that they want to add to their emoluments. It is, they simply want to be facilitated to undertake a constitutional duty.
In this crucial task, the Senate works in a watchdog role to ensure resources allocated to devolved units by the national government is not mismanaged. It is this nature of their work that Speaker Simba Kiage says Salaries and Remuneration Commission must facilitate in order to ensure there is proper running of county governments.
We talk of oversight. You cannot pretend to do oversight if you're not facilitated to go see exactly the resources that you have appropriated to the different counties, what these resources are doing. And the only way to do that is to enable, to facilitate the senators. Otherwise, there'll be Nairobi here, and Kenyans will start bashing them. That how comes we are seeing a lot of misuse of resources, and yes, senators, you're not aware.
On Wednesday, the SRC Commission retreats to deliberate on this sensitive matter amid heightened calls for review of the parks. Whether or not there will be any change in this regard remains a wait-and-see situation. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.
I am Enoch Wambua, Senator Kitui County.
The Senate has vowed to reject further humiliation from the National Assembly. Speaking in Naivasha during the induction, the legislators condemned their counterparts from the National Assembly, accusing them of undermining the supremacy of the Senate. Shadrach Karere reports.
Sibling rivalry dominated the day one of the Senator's historical induction in Naivasha.
Honorable members, when the Speaker is upstanding, everybody in the room should be upstanding, even before him.
Led by Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, the legislatures blamed the National Assembly for undermining the roles of the Senate.
Kwanza ni jambo la kuhuzunisha kwamba bunge la kitaifa na bunge la seneti wanaleta ubabe. Nafikiri mbabe katika nchi ya Kenya ni mwananchi wa kawaida ambaye amechagua senators na wabunge katika seneti na katika bunge la kitaifa mtawalia. Na sote tumekuja katika mabunge haya mawili hususan kuhakikisha kwamba msaidia Mkenya wa kawaida.
Unfortunately, after senators allocated money, we did a lot of work. We went to several countries to share experience. We were told this is a money bill. You can't proceed. So, this is an issue that we will have to grapple with.
The Fourth Senate stated that at times in the last House, the National Assembly passed bill and forwarded them for President signing before they were approved by the Senate.
In division of revenue. But with time, during the second Senate, we were actually completely cut off. National Assembly said we had no roles. Sometimes they will do their own things, like the 28 legislations. 23 of them are matters actually affecting counties. But National Assembly went ahead and sent it to the President without concurrence of the Senate, of the Speaker of the Senate and the Senate. And I think that is where our speakers are supposed to be vigilant, and also the executive, to make sure that National Assembly, they don't pass things that are supposed to come to the Senate.
Governors who attended the event, among them Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika, asked the Senate to come up with a way of solving rivalries between the two houses.
I urge the Senate to, among other things, set up a dispute resolution mechanism between the two chambers and county governments.
So, these positions, sometimes they are very sweet, Mr. Speaker, sir. But sometimes you have bullets to bite. So, lazima ujitayarishe.
Kingi assured the senators that the rivalry will no longer be witnessed.
Nimezungumza na kakangu ambaye ni spika wa bunge la kitaifa. Na tumesema kwamba ikiwa hapo awali kulikuwa na mikwaruzano na ubabe, basi mikwaruzano ile na ubabe ule kwa sasa tutauzika katika kaburi la sahau.
Shadrach Karere, Look Up TV.
At least one male person aged 24 years has been reported dead following an upsurge outbreak of Ebola at Ngabano village, Mubere district in the Republic of Uganda. Confirming the case, WHO Permanent Secretary Diana Atwine stated that the patient experienced high fever, loss of appetite, cough and deteriorating health. This comes as the disease strikes again the country after a decade since 2012. Moses Okech reports.
Health authorities in Uganda have declared an outbreak of Ebola after a case of the Sudan Ebola virus was confirmed in Murende district in the central part of the country. The Uganda Virus Institute has confirmed a single death so far, also following 6 suspicious deaths this month on an investigation done by the National Rapid Response Team. In a statement, the World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa, Dr. Matshidiso Moeti, stated, and I quote, "This is the time in more than a decade that Uganda is recording an outbreak of Sudan Ebola virus. We are working closely with the national health authorities to investigate the source of this outbreak while supporting the efforts to quickly roll out effective control measures." With 8 suspected cases of patients with the virus receiving care in a health facility, Dr. Moite adds, "Uganda is no stranger to effective Ebola control. Thanks to its expertise, action has been taken to quickly detect the virus, and we can bank on this knowledge to halt the spread of the infection." Confirming the first case of the Ebola virus, World Health Organization Permanent Secretary Dr. Diana Atwine says,
One suspected case of viral hemorrhagic fever was identified and isolated in Mubende Regional Referral Hospital.
Atwine adds that the infected is a 24-year-old man who had experienced symptoms that saw his health deteriorating, forcing an order to an isolation room.
He deteriorated, developed the yellowing of eyes. He started passing out tea-colored urine and also complained of severe abdominal pain.
Ebola is a severe, often fatal illness affecting humans and other primates. The case fatality rates of the Sudan virus has varied from 41% to 100% in past outbreaks. The organization has dispatched supplies to support the care of patients and is sending a tent that will be used to isolate patients. Mosa Sokech, Look Up TV.
Moving on, Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika makes changes in 4 key county departments in a bid to streamline services. Now, the key areas to be restructured are Revenue Department, Public Transport, Public Service and Supply Chain Management. Kihika approves a total overhaul of the Revenue Department, where she appointed a task force to review operational challenges in our public transport.
Kihika's led administration has expressed confidence that the county government will work hand in hand to achieve its goals and fulfill promises to the people of Nakuru.
Habari yenu? Asante, asante.
Governor Kihika made major changes in 4 key areas within her mini government.
With a functional public service, I entertain no doubts that the people of Nakuru stand to reap huge dividends in terms of quality, timely and efficient delivery of services.
A task force has since been mandated to look into operational challenges faced by the public transport sector. Chaired by the county secretary, the task force will give appropriate remedies.
Streamlining of public transport. It's a sector that plays a vital role in the creation of wealth. Hundreds of our youths are dependent on the sector for their daily livelihoods. Since the sector has been identified as a key source of wealth and prosperity, I have appointed a task force to consider, among other things, the operational challenges faced by the sector and recommend suitable remedies for immediate action.
The governor directed a 100% waiver on all unpaid parking charges, amounting to 142 million shillings.
I have authorized and directed a 100% waiver of all unpaid parking charges for the period running up to August 2022, which, ladies and gentlemen, amounts to 142 million shillings. This intervention, I have no doubt, will afford the sector an opportunity to recover and engage further with my government.
Intending to achieve revenue targets, Kihika announced the decision to approve a total overhaul of the Revenue Department.
I have approved a total overhaul of the Revenue Department. This is to include, but not limited to, 1, redeployment and reshuffling of all revenue clerks and officers, and appointment of new revenue heads.
Also, the public service sector will have the human resource function restructured and the payroll cleaned.
The human resources function must be restructured to be responsive to the needs of our workforce. I am keen to reevaluate the existing policies on hiring, retention, and promotion of staff members.
Mudeundalana, Look Up TV.
Today, on our daily segment of Your Opinion Matters, we asked Kenyans whether they think the government of President William Ruto and his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, will honor the pledges they made in the next 100 days of the helm. Our reporter Rhoda Muringo with more details on this.
It has been 1 week since the swearing-in of President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. Today, on Your Opinion Matters, we ask the residents of Kawangware whether they think the new government will uphold its promises to Kenyan citizens.
Kwa majina anaitwa Bob Georgiadis, mfanyabiashara Amboseli, Lavington area. Mimi pande hizi pledges zilimekiwa na Kenya Kwanza Brigade ambao ni Ruto na Gachagua. Zina muda wa 100 days, lakini ni mingi sana, ni bulky in a way that sisi kama Wakenya wa kawaida tunashangaa kama watatimiza, lakini ombi letu ni watimize. Jibada wasipotimiza ni kawaida, tumezoea zitimizangu.
Majina yangu ni Alice Rukato. Naishi Kawangware. Vile naonelea according hii serikali ya Ruto na Gachagua, mimi naona ni watu watatupeleka bari. Juu hizi ahadi walituambia watafanya, they have started kutufanyia. Hiyo ndio kitu naweza kusema. Kwa sasa aliahidi atashukisha maneno ya fertilizer. Fertilizer ameshukisha. Sasa nayo hii ya unga naye akasema tumpe time kidogo atashukisha. So mimi naona wanaendelea poa, akipewa time ya kutosha atatufanyia maajabu na atatufanyia poa.
Naona hii ni vigumu, hawataweza. Maana yake wao wenyewe Ruto na deputy wake, kulingana na maoni yangu, hawajajipanga sawa.
Kwa majina naitwa Edna Mwaha. Mi opinion yangu ni kama mimi naona Ruto na Gachagua hawata deliver anything, sababu Ruto alikuwa kwa last government na sikuona chochote alifanya. Sasa mimi sina faith hapo hivyo.
Pale mbele naona wao wenyewe wataenda kupigania, kila mtu anahitaji kuweka mtu wake mahali pake.
Kuhusu William Ruto na naibu wake, hiyo maoni walikuwa wametuambia, mjadala walikuwa wametisha kwamba watasaidia wa Kenya, haiwezekani. Hao watu wamekuwa kwa serikali miaka na miaka, tumesikia hiyo miaka yote, hiyo majina hatuoni kama wanaweza tusaidia.
Those are some of the views of Kenyans concerning the uphold of the promises made by the government of President William Ruto. Now the big question being, will they be able to fulfill their promises? Rhoda Muringo, Look Up TV.
Rhoda, with those opinions, do you think they would achieve it in 100 days? It's now, what, 90 days left? Kakamega residents are lamenting the high level of insecurity after a student and a watchman were murdered in a cold blood. The two were hacked to death in the wee hours of the night by unknown assailants. Area residents now want justice to be served and security to be beefed up.
Alikatwa kichwa na akatungwa kwa kichwa chuma mara mbili, huku kwa macho tena huku. Sikuweza kumuona, nikawa na wasiwasi, nikapika simu hii kwa inaingia. Kufikia saa 7 ndio nilipata ripoti msee alipigwa na wakora, hako ICU.
Wako kwa hospitali hata ni bahati mtu kupona. Kama unaweza katwa panga karibu 7 kwa kichwa, wewe utapona. Na saa hii ukienda huko wanakuambia andika, uliona nani? Sasa wewe kazi yako ni kuangalia. Tunataka polisi wa patroli, vijana washikwe, wale vijana hawana kazi. Ukipatikana unasunguka usiku, shika watu.
Mimi nikomba serikali tu wafanye vizuri, watembee usiku, hata kwa matanga watembee. Kwa sababu hata mahali tunalala katika shida, hatuna amani. Wito kwamba wanatafuta Chang'aa wabaya na maafisa wa polisi, washike watu wa Chang'aa, pia wakishika wale watu ambao wanakunywa Chang'aa na wale ambao wanafuta pia bangi.
Huyo President Ruto na ameongeza maaskari pesa. Tulifikiria at least hii uhalifu itapunguako kwa sababu maaskari watakuwa wanapata pesa mingi. Hawatafuata hii pesa ya kuchukua uhongo. Lakini tunaona pato hii visa wameongezwa huko juu, lakini visa ya uhalifu inaendelea na hao maaskari wakikuja wanaenda wanachukua tu hongo.
Ningeomba serikali ya saa hii sasa, OCS, naomba serikali OCS wa Kakamega na kuomba, ongea na ofisi yako unipe security ya hii town ya kutosha.
The government, through the National Treasury, has availed 3.55 billion shillings to implement the subsidized fertilizer promised by President William Ruto during his inauguration. The amount will subsidize 71,000 metric tons of fertilizer to be distributed through the National Cereals and Produce Board effective September 19th, 2022 to grow food crops during the short rains. Let's look at sport. Now, the Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa yesterday led other officials of the body to the Goal Project Kandana House at Kasarani over 10 months after they were kicked out by Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed. Mwendwa led FKF Vice Chair President Doris Petra, Secretary General Barry Otieno, FKF's Head of Integrity Michael Kamure, among others, to the facility which had been unlocked after their unceremonious removal from office.
Charo anajua password.
Game ndani ya Xerox.
Kwa kusonga haraka na kuhakikisha wametupatia environment ya kurudisha football tena katika Kenya. Sihitaji kusema sana, lakini kuanzia mwezi wa 11 mwaka uliopita.
Back in office, that will say. Maybe this then would lead to us being allowed to participate in our FIFA competitions because we were blacklisted because of whatever was going on in the country in as much as our football matters are concerned. Maybe Chacha will come in and tell us exactly what that means. All right, so the question is going to be, later on when I come back at 11 to 12, is the government broke? Because they've just released 3.6 billion worth of subsidized fertilizer. So the news about the government being broke, is it a reality or it is just politics? Because there's been blame then from the current government of President William Ruto that they walked into office to nothing, barely. And you ask yourself the question, I mean, you had 200 million for the inauguration. Your trip outside the country would cost millions again. So you ask yourself, is the government broke? On Look at Business, once I come back from 11 to 12, but Ankey Dorice on Bad comes back. Let's talk about modeling with a purpose. At Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage And Ankey. Let's take a short break.
Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. My name is Maki Wamboko, Sales Manager, Optiven Real Estate, and I'm here at our head office, Absa Towers, located at Reuters Street. Today, I'm here to talk about our newest project, that is Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki, and it is located only 10 minutes drive from Cedar Mall. And in this project, we have proposed that we will be having a GMC Entertainment Center. This will be a replica of what we have in Kitengela, GMC Kitengela. We are also proposing a police post, so you are assured that security, once you invest here, security is good. And we are also proposing to have a playing ground. We are also going to have a community ground. So once you invest here, you don't have to worry about the security. The other things, among the things that we are doing, or the things that we have done already in Great Oasis Gardens, we have already done the marking fence, and the roads, the internal roads are already happening. We have started the malaming the road, and we are still in the process of doing the malaming of the internal roads. And we are also sinking a borehole so that we ensure that our investors in Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki, will not struggle with water. We are also going to elevate a water tower so that we have a constant supply of water in this project. And we also have a caretaker on site. The caretaker is on site, and he's there 24/7. And then we also have different sizes in this project. We are having 8, we are having quarters, we are having halves, and we are also having acres. One can buy in bulk, you can buy in big chunks, and that is why we are saying in Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki, we are saying that bigger is better. In this project, what you can invest in, you can invest in private schools, you can also do holiday homes, whereby you can do Airbnb, you can also do holiday homes, and then you start renting, and you can also build houses and sell. You can also do apartments in this area. You can also do supermarkets. You can also build a mall, and then you start renting. There is so much that you can do in this project because it is not controlled development. We are also located along Nanyuki Rumuruti Road, and this road is being proposed to be tarmacked by the government. So coming from Nanyuki, or coming from wherever you will be coming from, it will be very easy to access the project because it is touching the Nanyuki Rumuruti Road, which is going to be tarmacked by the government. My number is +254 722 355 107. Do not be left behind. Call that number. I will work with you. If you are in Kenya, give me a call. We go for the site visit. We select the plot and we start the payment. If you're in diaspora, send a representative, and I will be delighted to work with you. And as we say here in Optiven, we shine because you make us shine. God bless you. Thank you.
Africa. Our economy has a bit. It never stops, always beating. Our business, the next global economic frontier. Let's talk African business.
Michezo na wachezaji, matukio na matokeo uwanjani. Tumejifunga kibwebwe kukuletea mbwembwe. Si mazungumzo ya kusisimua. Ndiyo maana safu ya spoti ipo hapa kwa ajili yako. ZFC! Nami hapa nahodha Robert Chacha, si suisui, na kuandalia kipindi bomba cha safu ya spoti kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 7:30 hadi 9:30 ndani ya runinga nambari 1 ya michezo Lookup TV.
What's the first thing you do when you get out of bed in the morning?
Does it ever get boring being a Christian? How do women do it?
Personally, I just think the first thing, this is ideal for me, is actually give God the first couple of hours or minutes of your day.
That freedom to not just be anywhere and do anything anyhow, but you know, sometimes you even want to have a girls' night out, hang out, you know.
You take permission.
You take permission. Yeah.
This is an ordinary day in Hilary's life.
I was called by someone who represented himself to me as a husband to her. And the guy told me that she has died on 18th April.